Hello Straters, it's CreepEvee, but you can call me Dylan. I'm here with another Pauper video this week. This week we're playing another blue-white deck. We're playing Tireless Tribe. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with this combo. It's been around for a while, but I've never seen it really do extremely well until I was looking at some tournament reports on Magic the Gathering's website, and I found this where D Machine went 5-0 in a competitive Pauper League with this deck, and I really like his build. I think that it's very optimal, and obviously did very well. So I got to thinking maybe we could show this deck off a little bit. Now, I did make a few changes to the deck, but I will leave the link for his original list in the description below so that you guys can check it out. But I changed up the list a little bit, and the reason that I did was not because I felt that his list was not great. It's just whenever I priced his list online for Moto, it came out to $90. Now, that's more than I like to pay for a Pauper deck, especially online. And I know that a lot of people that might be watching this video might feel the same way. So I decided to cut out some of the more expensive cards, make some changes, and I managed to take it from $90 down to $16. So it's a little bit more manageable. At least I think it is. I do feel like there were some things that did make the deck a little bit weaker, but overall I feel like it's still extremely close to the strength that it was, just a lot cheaper now. Just things like days, he was playing two of them. They're not very much on paper, but it's one of those cards that's more expensive on Moto. It was like 16 ticks for one. But now we have an entire deck for the cost of a days. So I think that this is slightly preferable. But anyway, let's get into the deck. If you're not familiar with it, this is Tireless Tribe, 1 white, and it's a 1/1, and discard a card. Tireless Tribe gets +0, +4 until end of turn. Now that would be very hard for us to kill our opponent with. We would still be hitting for 1, no matter how many cards we discarded. But we have this lovely card, Inside Out, and it is 1 colorless and either a blue or red. We switch target creature's power and toughness until end turn and draw a card. So now our Tireless Tribe can become a very large creature very quickly as long as we can fill our hand up. So that's pretty much the idea of the deck. The problem is that that's pretty much the only way that the deck can win. So you either make that work or you lose the game, which is why it's not extremely viable. But hey, D Machine made it work, so let's see whether we can. As far as everything else, with the creatures, we play 4 Squadron Hawk because we can play it, search out 3 Squadron Hawks from our deck, and now we're filling our hand up very quickly. We also play Standard Bearer to be able to protect our Tireless Tribe from kill spells, because, as said before, it's pretty much the only way that we can win the game. As far as draw power, we have Cataxian Probe, Ponder, Brainstorm, and Gush. That would be our primary ways to draw cards. Obviously, Inside Out, Shadow Rift, and Slip Through Space do draw cards, but I wouldn't technically call them our draw power cards. Gush especially is the card that we use to go off because we return 2 cards and draw 2 cards. So for 1, we're getting 4 cards into our hand, which is getting us very close to being able to win the game with Tireless Tribe. Besides that, we play plenty of counter magic. I put the 2 dispels in for the dazes, and I put 2 negates in place of the prohibitions. Just a much cheaper alternative, and I think it still gets the job done. Otherwise, we have Circular Logic, which is an incredible counterspell in this deck. For our opponent has to pay 1 colorless for each card that's in our graveyard. Considering that this is a discard deck, that's a lot of cards. Normally it would be a 3-drop, but with Madness it's a 1-drop, and luckily we have a pretty consistent way to discard cards in the form of Tireless Tribe. Otherwise, we have a pretty straightforward mana base. D-Machine was playing with 3 Ash Barons, and Ash Barons are quite expensive on Moto. They're about $7. So I cut them and went up 1 of each of our basic lands and added in a Tranquil Cove. I know that Ash Baron is a fantastic card, but as I said, keeping budget in mind. Onto the side deck, we have Sun Lance, just a really good removal spell in white. Circle of Protection red, because red is such a threat. Disenchant, Patrician Scorn to get rid of, it's a mass wipe for enchantments. Curse of Chains, it's just a really strong way to tap down our opponent's creatures, that way we can attack without having to worry about things. If our Slip Through Spaces and Shadow Rift, don't take care of things. Arcane Denial as extra counter magic that will also let us draw cards. Piracy Charm, just as a more flexible way to get past blockers. We can side this in instead of Slip Through Space, just so we have more options. As long as our opponent is playing blue, that way we can get past it with Island Walk. The last card in the side deck are 4 copies of Jace's Erasure. I love the fact that this card is included in his side deck. I think that this is a fantastic and creative way to create an alternate win condition. This deck draws a lot of cards. Jace's Erasure is going to force your opponent to discard every time you draw a card. So obviously we have a lot of synergy there. You might not completely win the game with Jace's Erasure, but you can definitely be disruptive against combo decks. So I think it's a fantastic side deck card if you feel like you need an alternate win condition or a lot of disruption. So that is the deck. I'm really excited to play it. I think that it's extremely fun, extremely entertaining to play. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Like I said, we've cut down the price considerably. You can build the whole deck, side deck and all, for about $16 online. I don't know exactly what it would come out to on paper, but I don't think it would be very much at all. So I hope you guys are excited about the deck. I know I am, so let's jump over into the games. I'll see you there. Okay guys, we are playing some Tireless Tribe combo in Pauper. We are going to... We'll keep this hand. We have the land, and I'd like to get that Standard Bearer out. We're actually playing against a friend of mine because I've been having some problems getting matches online publicly today. For some reason, matches have been ending early on me. So hopefully that will not happen, and we can get some good footage today. So thank you to him. I very much do appreciate having somebody to play against. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a lot of mean stuff. So Standard Bearer looks like it's going to be very important. Yeah. Standard Bearer is going to come in handy, I think. So let's plan on getting it on board very quickly. Mirror Aqueduct for our opponent. Alright, so we have 2 Standard Bearers. That's pretty good, actually. Normally I wouldn't want to see that many, but given the matchup. I really don't like that Moto doesn't keep Gitaxian Probe in the revealed cards. Seems like it should be there, but Moto is mysterious to me. So let's do Terramorphic Expanse and get a island. Normally I would just keep Circular Logic mana open, but I think that I want to go ahead and get these standard bearers out. I think that they're going to be very important in taking things like Doomblade. It would be the... Oh yeah, I forgot he had Echoing Decay. Probably wasn't a great idea to play the standard bearers there. Well, again, I say Moto should keep Gitaxian Probe in the revealed section. Chittering Rats. So we're going to be starting the unfortunate... Okay, so put a card on your on top of your library. Well, let's just put an island. So I anticipate that we're going to be getting locked out fairly quickly. Oh, we have Circular Logic that we can counter something. So if he starts bouncing Chittering Rats or wants to play another Chittering Rats, we can get that going. I think everybody's fairly familiar with the Dimir Handlock decks at this point. Alright, so we have some mana up with our Circular Logic. We have enough to protect it as the turn ends. And remember that we can discard it with Tireless Tribe's effect and then use it for Madness. Well, it's at least we have that going for us. He has 4 cards on hand. We know one of them is Doomblade, and I honestly can't remember what the other one was. The problem is we don't have a whole lot going on for us besides the Circular Logics. If we could get something like a Gush going and maybe draw into what we need, that mainly being our inside. We do have something to get us past blockers, but at this point I don't think we're going to have to worry about blockers too much. But as soon as I say that, something will happen. Well, there's the Gush. Ask and ye shall receive. So let's bounce these two. It's probably a bad idea considering the fact that we don't know whether we're going to draw it, but in my mind, let's go ahead and try it. So what we'll do here is play the Squadron Hawk, search out some Hawks, Gitaxian Probe, maybe. Let's do that. We'll pay life for it. So, Doomblade, Unearth, Reaping the Graves, and 2 counter spells. That's going to be rough to get through. Okay, so we have lucked out and have drawn our inside out. We can play an island. Or no, we can't. No, yeah, we can. Okay. So we have 4 mana to work with. We need one of it. Well, I mean 2 for Inside Out. Let's try it. I think we can do it. He has 2 counter spells, but he doesn't have the mana to play more than 1, and he has Doomblade. But we'll have enough mana to counter 2 things, so we should be fine. Don't know why I did that, but we're gonna switch. I assume he's going to try to counter it. I hope that he does, because I tapped mana wrong. Okay, so we're going to discard Circular Logic. This is why I love Circular Logic. Cast a Doomblade, and we're going to discard another Circular Logic. And that should be game. Yep. Okay. Alright. We've got our first win on the board. So looking at his deck. The Arcane Denials are really the only thing that I think we'll really need. But I don't really know what I want to take out. Maybe one Journey to Nowhere. We don't want to get rid of too many of them because he wants to bounce his creatures, and so we would definitely want to grab them before he can continue to bounce them. Otherwise, I think we just want to bring in one. I don't think we want to get too greedy. The Circular Logics did save us there. Okay, I like this hand a lot. Well, I don't have white mana, but otherwise, I really do like this hand. So I think that we're going to keep it. Just on the off chance that we can make this work. Okay, so technically we have all of our combo pieces in place. We just need to get the mana in place for it. We do have one counter spell. So the sooner we can get going with it, the better. Yeah, if we could draw into some white mana, we would be pretty solid. Chittering Rats. That does not help us draw white mana. We'll put a tribe on top. I think we're just going to pass here. I don't want to burn the gush up early. Gosh, this hand has the potential to be so good. Okay. So we get the plains. He has the ability to, well, he has the mana open to counter Tireless Tribe. If Tireless Tribe isn't on board, we don't have the mana for Circular Logic. Once it does, we'll be able to counter things with Circular Logic, but normally I would hold it, but we do have 2 Tireless Tribes in hand, so I think it's worth trying. So it does resolve. Okay. Well, we now have Circular Logic mana available. Doomblade. We will have to discard Circular Logic. Target Doomblade. Oh wow, I just realized we don't have enough cards in our discard. Wow. Yeah, that was a huge misplay on my part. Yeah, forgot that Circular Logic is not a straight counter. It is you have to pay to not have your things countered. Okay, so he hits us with the Flicker spell. Well, we've got options here. Not a whole lot of good ones, but options nonetheless. I really don't want our tribe to get hit while we can't protect it. So let's search up 3 Hawks, fill our hand. Gosh, I wish we wouldn't have misplayed that. But it happens. So a swamp is at 4 mana now, which is kind of scary. I'd very much like to draw some land. Let's block. The biggest creature that I think he would drop on us would be a Gurmag Angler. Okay, so the Archaeomancer comes down. Okay, so we're in a lot of danger of just being locked out starting next turn. That being said, oh boy. I'd like to get our tribe down, and I'd like to have counter magic. There's really only one way to do that. Okay, so we can put down tribe and we can have counter magic. Let's get Taxium Probe. Pang Life. Oh boy. So all sorts of very wonderful things that will completely shut us out of the game. It's kind of scary. We could play a Standard Bearer. I'd rather get the Dispel mana up. Boy, what do we do? I think if we play the Standard Bearer, it forces him to do something about it. So that is, I think, what we want to do. Since we are going to have to discard anyway, I want to Shadow Rift here because I'm not extremely worried about blockers. And I'd rather just try to get cards into my hand, and there's our other Shadow Rift. Well, we have a Dispel open if he decides that he wants to try to Ghostly Flicker. Let's discard a Hawk. Discard another Hawk. So we have Counterspell, Chainer's Edict, and a Doomblade that we need to worry about. Chainer's Edict, I think, is the scarier of those, seeing as we can't actually deflect it like we could with Doomblade. So, oh boy. We need to dispel for so many things, it's difficult to decide whether we dispel this or not. I think we have to let that resolve. One of his flicker spells would be one of the things that we would need to counter. Chainer's Edict is also a problem. We might just want to save it for that. Looks like he's saving the Ghostly Flicker. Or maybe is planning on playing it now. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so if we play the Dispel, counter the Ghostly Flicker, he'll be tapped out for the rest of our turn. Also, he will not be able to get a Ghostly Flicker back with Archaeomancer. I think that's what we do. Okay. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Do we play Tireless Tracker without any way to protect it? That doesn't seem like what we want to do. Do we want to play a blocker? That seems more like what we want to do. Playing the Squadron Hawk doesn't help us a lot except baiting removal, but I think he knows better than to do that. So I think we'll play the Terramorphic Expanse. Search up a land, thin our deck a little bit. Go to Plains. It's not much of deck thinning, but it's deck thinning nonetheless. Actually, probably should have saved that in case he wanted to Ghostly Flicker and stack, and then we could have put away something like a Squadron Hawk that we didn't need. And then shuffled with Terramorphic Expanse, but I'll add that to the list of misplays. Relic of Progenitus, that could be a problem. Not really that our deck revolves around the graveyard, but it does help our circular logic out. Okay, counter magic. Happy to see that. So let's play Tireless Tracker. I mean, not Tireless Tracker, Tireless Tribe. It'd be nice if Tireless Tracker was in this format. There would be a lot of fun things you could do, but at the same time, I would not want it to be in this format. It would be a little bit nuts. Okay, so let's see whether we can protect our stuff or not. Relic of Progenitus. Just getting one card. We'll get rid of our Terramorphic Expanse. Oh, we're in a tight situation, especially because Chainer's Edict has flashback and we can only counter it once. Has 4 cards in hand. I mean, we're not completely out of the game by any means. Chandra's Edict. Let's counter it. This might bait the counter spell. I mean, pretty much at this point, we're trying to just force cards out of his hand. Yeah. Yeah, not much we could do about that, but problem is that it's 2 Tireless trackers that are gone now. Tireless Tribe, I'm terribly sorry about that. Does that count towards the number of misplays that I've had? Calling cards the wrong name. Well, we have a slip through space. That doesn't do a whole lot for us. Let's play our Squadron Hawk. We don't need to search. I think that we're going to bluff that we have a counterspell. Obviously, no reason not to. But I would like to use this Shadow Rift on our instep. Let's get rid of... I mean, it doesn't really matter. We don't have recursion, but sometimes you want to make it look as if you care about it. And now he pops it. But just the Shadow Rift, because we already have a make ourselves unblockable spell in hand, and we need to draw cards. Let's block the rats. Oh. I think that's the best thing we can do. And hope that he does not have some type of flicker spell. Let's just Shadow Rift now. Drew a Standard Bearer. Well, let's put the Standard Bearer back. I'm actually gonna slip through space here. Well, there's Tireless Tribe. We have to play it, and we have to play... I should play the Standard Bearer first, and I'm hoping that doesn't come back to haunt me, but... Well, the only thing that we can really do is if he wants to give our cards -X, -X. Then we could discard to get bigger, but that's really all we can do. So he evokes the Mole Drifter. The problem now is in trying to draw cards, we have gone through 2 of our unblockable spells. So depending on how he chooses to attack, we could be at risk for not winning the game. And it looks like he is attacking the proper way and leaving blockers, which is not good. So what we need to do is we need to draw a powerful draw spell. Gush would be preferable. Well, it's Moto, so you know I'm not stacking. There's Gush. We're going to return 2 islands. We're going to pray that this does not get countered. It did not get countered. But that did not give us completely a way to win the game. So let's cast Inside Out, targeting our Tireless tribe. That gets us a Ponder. Let's go ahead and play Ponder. Shadow Rift. Okay, so we're looking pretty good right now. So let's put Brainstorm at the bottom, Rift second, then Probe. We will draw the Probe, play it by paying life. The reason why is I just want to see, okay, we've got game. Unless something crazy happens, we've got game, I think. If we can discard enough cards, which we should be able to. 2, 3, 4. We're not going to be able to. Yeah, we needed one more card. Well, let's do a bunch of damage anyway, because why not? Yeah, we just needed one more card and we could have had it. Well, and I don't think we could have done anything really differently. Or did I play a land? If I played a land, then we messed up. I don't think we did. Well, that was close. I will definitely give the deck credit. That was pretty solid. I think our plan is still the same. I think we don't want to bring in another Arcane Denial. I think we want to stick with what we've got. We just need to figure out a way to win a little bit faster than we did this time. Dimir Handlock is just such a scary deck if you can't get going in time. Ooh, there's a lot of good things happening in this hand. Let's keep it. The good thing about playing against Dimir Handlock is this is a deck with a tremendous amount of draw power. We'll pay for Gitaxian Probe. So we have Unearth, Chainer's Edict. So Chainer's Edict is going to be the card that we have to worry about mainly. So we draw a Standard Bearer. Problem is we did not draw white mana, which is what this hand needs. I would imagine we're going to see a Preordain very early on. I just realized how low on time we are. Let's play as Baron Moor. Well, there's another island. Let's pass, keeping up Dispel. Another island. Another Standard Bearer that we can't play. There's a tremendous amount of temptation to play the Gush. But I think we're going to wait until end step. Well, his end step if we do it. Because I want to have Dispel mana open for sure, and I don't want to have to discard cards yet. So he is not doing anything. He's passing through his combat. Let's just not gush. Not yet, at least. Oh boy. I think we're definitely going to have to gush next turn. Well, on his end step next turn. Let's discard a Standard Bearer. I really don't want to have to burn a gush this early, but interested as to why he didn't play the Preordain last turn. So plays the Relic. Let's tap 2 blue. Bounce 2 islands, maybe draw into a Brainstorm. We'll get rid of Gataxian Probe, doesn't really matter. Gush resolves. Okay, so nothing we can do, but yes, we will have to let all that wonderful mana go. But there is a Plains. Well, let's play the Tribe. We're gonna lose it. But I think we need to try to get it through at least. Let's discard a Slip Through Space for right now and an island. I mean, we have everything. Well, close to everything. If we had an island down, and we could have blocked this Chainer's Edict that I feel confident he is about to play. It's deciding how he wants to tap mana, so yes, we will be losing our Tireless Tribe, but so he goes for the Relic of Virginitas. We'll get rid of the Slip Through Space. Put a card on top. We'll put our island on top. So now we will be able to cast Circular Logic. The problem is he can crack his Relic in response. And if he does that, then our Circular Logic doesn't do anything for us. We can block an instant speed spell. Or if he spends his mana up, then Circular Logic will still work as long as we can get rid of it before he can do anything with his Relic. So what will we be seeing now? Maybe another Chainer's Edict and Echoing Decay. Okay, so let's counter that with a Dispel. Countered with another Dispel. He's going to get -2, -2. So let's discard Standard Bearer. So he can live through that now. So he essentially has 2 mana available to him. I kind of wish that we would have used circular logic now, because we wouldn't have had to discard an extra card, and if he decided to tap in response to it with the relic, then he would have had to spend the mana and he wouldn't have any mana open. Well, let's inside out, because I want to go ahead and try to do something here. Terramorphic Expanse. Well, I guess we just pass here. It was hasty to try to do that, but I was really hoping to get something going there. So he goes for the relic. That's fine. The reason why I went for it is just I feel like we needed to at least try to draw some cards. And I'm pretty concerned as to how quickly we might start getting killed here. Yes, the hope was to draw into our gush that I apparently can draw on command. Let's see, do we have one left? I can't remember how many there is one in the deck. Okay, so we're definitely viable to just win based on that. We're also viable to time out very soon. Let's play Tranquil Cove, gain a life. Play our new tribe. Remove soul. Okay, we'll let that happen. We really only need one tribe. That was mainly just as a give us options. So cycles the unearth. It's fine. Going for something big. Mole Drifter. Yeah, that's fine. We can't counter it anyway. Well, we could counter it, but he could pay the mana for it. We would only have to force him to pay 2 with circular logic. Swings with the rats. Problem is we are very close to timing out right now, so we pretty much need to draw the gush, draw all of our combo pieces, and win the game. We did not do any of that. So we have a lot of counter magic that we can play to try to survive. And maybe if we survive, then we draw into a gush, play the gush, draw into our combo pieces, and we win the game. That would be the plan for right now. Otherwise, we are going to time out, and then we lose the game. So there's that as well. I would say that this deck maybe needs more gushes, but apparently we can just draw them on command, so you don't need any more than what we have. So we'll go take 4, go down to 15. math seems a little bit better today than it has been before. Okay, so we're not going to play this island, simply because we don't really need to, and we need cards to discard after we draw our magic gush that is going to draw us all of our combo pieces. Dismal Backwater gains him 1 life. We take a lot of damage. 6 to be precise. Goes to his end step. Well, there's a Ponder. It's not a Gush, but it is a card. There's our Gush. Okay, so we put these two on the bottom, and we draw Gush, and we win the game. We don't draw. Alright, so we play. We have to work fast here, guys. We have no time left. Well, let's just see. We would have drawn 2 cards. That technically that wouldn't have gotten us there because we didn't have a way to spin our cards around, so we wouldn't have gotten it, and we were pretty much on the losing end at this point. We would have gone down to 3 next turn. I don't see a way that we could have really gotten out of this. So, very good game to you, Craig. I really enjoyed this deck, playing it, so maybe you guys want to check it out. Obviously, we didn't do super great, but that one game, game 1, we did do pretty well. It was pretty solid, and I think it was pretty good outcome. I hope you all enjoyed the deck, and I hope you all enjoyed the games. If you did, please let me know in the comment section. Make sure that you let me know what you thought about the deck and the video itself, ways that I can improve on my video making. And thank you to Craig for being in the video. I really do appreciate it. Maybe you can help me out in the future. I don't know whether you have any sort of particular social media for me to give you a shout out on, so we'll just say thank you, Craig. And I would also like to thank all of you for the great reception that I got on the last video. I'm excited to be making videos for the channel, and I'm glad to see that you guys seem to like them. So I hope that I can continue to meet your wonderful expectations. I have a few different ideas for what I'd like to do in the future, so let me know what kind of videos you guys are interested in seeing. I only really have Pauper online, but I do have Modern and EDH in paper that I could do live videos with. I go to my local game shop regularly, and I could probably record some games at F&M of different formats. We have a fairly big legacy community at our local game shop, so if that's something you guys are interested in, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great day.